welcome to the Friday attack laying there. Wow, I almost got attacked. Friday, January 12th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Good morning, Tony. Hey, it takes me time to get set up. Don't forget, I'm going blind here. I don't even know where to look. Yesterday, I sat in here in a total haze. I mean, I couldn't see. This eye was even all buggered up yesterday. It took me twice as long to put together the video for Sunday as it normally does. And that really scares me because I've heard anything about my insurance yet because, well, collecting their $800 paycheck every week. So why should they give two squats about the people they're supposed to take care of? But you know, it takes me longer to get ready. And when I've got a teenager out of school today because of the impending storm that's coming today and tomorrow, yeah, I've got to bide my time where I can, and it just takes me longer. So, but go figure. The day she has school, you can't get her out of bed with a crowbar and a threat. But the day she don't have school, she's up and running around at 6:30 in the morning. So, what do? Good morning, Christine. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Jan. Yeah, I've got just a little bit before I got to head to work, too. So, let's see here. There's Carnundrum. Good morning. Hope you're doing well this morning. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. It's I don't know what's happening weather-wise in y'all location, but 3 days ago, friends of mine out in extreme western Iowa got hit with this snowstorm. We got hit with this snowstorm, and they were forecasted 4 to 8 inches. It wound up dropping almost 14 inches before it moved past them, and it actually moved across Iowa, then drooped down, and now it's circling back up and hitting us, and it's bringing lake effect snow and everything else with it. So they're actually talking about upwards of 9 inches, possibly a foot, and then it's going to be followed by what they described as polar temperatures and lots of lake effect snow. So we'll see. We'll see. The worst part's supposed to be tomorrow. Wind gusts of over a mile an hour, which is going to put the temperature at somewhere around minus 22. So, I don't know. Good morning, Justin. Ben, good to see you, man. Long time no see, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Nick. Oh, let me see here. Snow ain't the issue here. It's the cold. Yeah, we're staying right in that high 20, low 30, 31, 32 degrees. But today, they said the only reason that we're not going to see a huge accumulation today is because of the variation. We're at like 28 right now, and we're supposed to go up to 33. So they said just depending on how the wind hits, Um, a lot of the snowfall today could be mixed with rain, and then this afternoon is when the cool temperatures come in, which is going to drop us down to right around the 27, 26, 27 degree um, temperatures. And it's going to switch over to all snow, and then that big wind gusts are supposed to start, and all that other nasty crap that goes with it. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Thankfully, I got a bag of straw for the Matahulas. Yeah, they definitely need it, that's for sure. My town got nothing, but north of me got over a foot of snow. Now, where exactly are you at, Conundrum? I mean, not exactly where are you at, but roughly as to not get stalkers to come to your house and knock on your door. Oh, Lindsay. Okay. Yeah, it snowed here day before yesterday, just a little bit, just a little. We got probably well, we got about 4 inches day before yesterday, and then yesterday was just a flurry, a flurry, a flurry all day, and then this storm's supposed. It's so bad, and it's looking so bad because right now it's down, or just a little bit ago when I looked, it was down by Terre Haute, Indiana, southwest of Indianapolis, and it's moving right towards us. So we'll see. It was all rain down there, all greens and yellows. But the leading edge of it, which is just a hair west of Indianapolis, was all pink, which means it was switching over to ice. So we'll see. We might get that accumulation today. Good morning, cold snow. Yeah, it's been cold, bud. Let me see here. We ain't cold yet. Tomorrow drops around zero. Been good. Been working hard at my day job. Been sweating bullets. Well, I mean, it's summertime there, so I can just about imagine that close to the equator what summertime is like in Australia, New Zealand, down around that area. Cold snow. That's the same here. We're having 37 degrees Celsius, 184 millimeters of rain, 24 hours on Monday. So we had flash flooding here, 80% humidity. Can I? Well, I don't know if I could send the snowstorms to you, Christine, but you're more than welcome to come here and experience snowball fights and building snowmen and everything else. So, me on TikTok. Morning Fish, good to see you, bud. Sounds normal for up north. Well, and it's like I've been saying for a couple months now. They're forecasting above normal temperatures, above normal snowfall. So, I mean, as you guys know, I start going up to that 32-degree mark, the more likely it is to see snow. So, but once you get above that 30, 32 mark, then you start looking at freezing rain and ice and all that cute crap that goes with it. Please keep them Canadian air masses to yourselves. Good morning to you, ornery, card cheating, whiskey swilling devil, you. I mean, if that's a bad thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't think so. I believe Australia come there every summer here to have winter all year around. Well, I've been trying to get Santee, since he you know, lived in this area when he was a much younger lad. And Mrs. Santee loves the snow, and Mr. Santee loves a life without the snow. I'm actually trying to convince him into coming up for a visit during the winter time, so Mrs. Santee can, go out and play in the snow with my youngin and have snowball fights and build snowmen, and Mr. Santee can sit inside like I do at the window and just laugh and enjoy it and drink coffee or warm whiskey. You know, the necessities of life. Can't wait for the summer. Good morning, Gunny. Good to see you, bud. You tell those Mountie boys off, Tony. I know a fair few Aussies that want to come here for the winter. Y'all don't know what below zero feels like. And Jan going to Tennessee Tuesday. You ought to take detour through Missouri and stop by. I don't. I don't think that's a. I don't think that's a. I wouldn't exactly call Tennessee via Missouri um, a slight alteration or a detour. I think that's like completely the opposite direction than what they're going. They're going southeast, and you live almost directly west. So yeah, I don't think that's a detour. I think that's oh, way the frick out of the way is what I think that is. You had me at whiskey. I got a bottle of Bullet sitting in the fridge, chilled, bud. It's a big bottle of Bullet. Big bottle of Bullet. So you are more than happy, or more than welcome to come up and drink my whiskey. Love my beer and my weed. I will be in the snow. Um, oh God, no, that means going through Illinois. Yep. Swiss Valley, be busy. Oh yeah, most definitely. I can make it to Memphis from here off of 55. Well, you might as well just keep driving east, bud, and meet them, um, over where they're going to. You deserve a vacation anyway. Take the wife and kids. We get to -8, -12 degrees Celsius in winter, so I know below zero. I love every bit of it. Bullet is always good. Yes, it is. I kind of like that. We get to -8 to -12 degrees Celsius in the wintertime. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a much larger variance between 0 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Fahrenheit? So I believe that 0 degrees Fahrenheit would be closer to -30 um, Celsius. Yep, see, 0 degrees Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit. So yeah, I think 0 degrees Fahrenheit would be closer to -30 Celsius. We'll be heading into snow, so I guess I'll get to use the all-wheel drive feature. Yeah, I was looking at the Doppler earlier, Jan, and as it's well, which way am I going here? Let me see. Yep, that way, that way. As it's circling back around out of um, eastern Tennessee and Kentucky and everything, and the southern part of Illinois. It's coming up, and it looks like there's some wider storms. So you might get some of that. You might get some of that precip off that storm coming up. But like I said, it's our winter weather warning is from 10 a.m. this morning till 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And then when it pulls out, then we're looking at lake effect snow. Uh, but the forecast, the 7 day forecast has it snowing 5 of the next 7 days. So God only knows how much snow we'll get out of this. I love watching countries getting snow when they don't get it. It's funny watching them. That's one of the main things I did in Texas when I moved down there back in '98 and got a job as a cab driver. I used to park just off the interstate, and I would watch those guys hit the interstate at 70, 80 mile an hour and hit the on ramp and try to turn to go with traffic, and they turn their wheels and keep going forward. I've seen them hit the back ends of other cars, seen them bounce off the concrete divider, and then they don't understand what happened. It's like, slow down, dumbass. It is not -30, it's probably -17. I've never been able to figure out the conversion between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I haven't. I'll be honest about it. I have to deal with the cold starting tonight, working in it all next week. Is in summer yet. Talk with my Knoxville sis. Last night she gave me their weather forecast. Heading to work. Have a great day. You too, Jan. Take care, sweetie. Have a great day, and I'll keep you informed over the next 36 hours how things are here. Yeah, it's -17.7. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Carnatrum. Slow down. My truck hates the slushy snow shit. But it's packed snow or ice. It is okay. I don't. I hate any vehicle when it comes to the slushy stuff or ice. Four-wheel drives are made to go through snow. All-wheel drives are made to go through snow. They are not made to ice skate. So it don't matter how much money you spend on all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. I remember years and years ago when I came back from Texas, I was detailing cars at the Ford dealership my dad worked at. And the new model of Mustangs had came out. And they had this little push button traction control. Supposed to be able to help you drive on any weather conditions. I'm here to tell you, traction control on a Mustang, all it does is it helps you decide which way the car is going to spin when you hit the accelerator. Because with the traction control turned off, the main drive wheel in the back is on the driver's side. So when you hit the accelerator, the car automatically starts to spin towards the driver's side. If you hit the traction control and hit the accelerator, both wheels kick in and you start to spin to the passenger side. So, yeah, good job, Ford. Timmins, Ontario has a law where you have to have spikes on winter tires. At one point in time, they had spikes on tires here, or people would put chains on their tires, and it started tearing up the roads. So yeah, they did away with chains and stuff like that, and not give tire companies a chance to make more money because then they were selling winter tires with rubber studs on them and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't use sense when driving in poor weather. A lot of people, dude, are complete dirt to durs when bad weather hits. That's why whenever we have a nasty winter with a lot of freezing rain and stuff like that, I-94 that you take, from here into Kalamazoo or up to Detroit, there's always a minimum 25 car pileup. We have seen up to a 70 car pileup just in the last 8 years I've lived here. Because people will hit it and they'll be speeding along, they'll hit a patch of ice, turn sideways, another car will hit them, then a truck will try to stop, go off in the ditch, somebody else see the accident and they'll try to slam on their brakes. And but every year, minimum 25 cars, upwards of 50 or 60 or even 70 cars. So, and these are Michigan people. These are Michigan people that should be used to it. Yeah, it's an ice rink. You're right, bud. No four-wheel drive cars are made to go through everything except Missouri. We get that crappy black ice on the roads here. We do at times here. It just depends. Sounds like suction cups on the wheel. My Dodge has limited slips, so it does fairly good in two-wheel drive. That makes sense. Worst I've ever saw was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was at Wanamaker. Every on and off ramp had wrecks. Yep, yep, yep. It's based on experience because they don't only have to have stop signs and people know. Yeah, and one of the worst things. Yeah, that's the best way to phrase it right there, Fish. Everyone is in a big hurry to do nothing. Yep, hurry up and wait. That's it. Yep, if people would leave their house 10 minutes earlier, which is one reason why we keep our clocks and stuff set ahead around here. Just like yesterday, the wife had to leave for work. We got quite a bit of snow on Wednesday, her last day off for the week, and then Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We had 4 inches of snow sitting out there yesterday morning, and the roads were all covered. And the people who had gone down the road, um, that they left tracks in the snow, but there was still white under the tires. So we didn't know what the roads were like. And she left 15 minutes early. Got to work, said, the highways were good, but the back roads getting to the highways were crappy. They were slick, they were snow covered. Some of them had little drifts that were starting at the ditches and working their way out. But she made it there and made it back fine. Never had to relearn how to drive on slick roads. I never understood that. Yeah. No, I'm usually in a hurry to get home. And, go back to work unless you work in a China factory. Work has a lot of downtime. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this storm as it progressively moves northward, and we'll know by tomorrow evening how much it's decided to dump on us, and then hopefully by Monday morning, um, the lake effect is over with. But since there's snow in the forecast for 5 of the next 7 days, I doubt it. I can drive in snow and ice, no problem. I have problems driving in the rain. Back in the working days, if I couldn't get to work, then people couldn't bring the stuff to me to repair either. There's good logic behind that. Good logic behind that. Hey, if you guys will excuse me for a second, I want to go and make sure. I think the car is clean, but I'm gonna, at least going to go start it for her so she don't have to go out there and freeze because she can't wear heavy stuff. So she has to wear these little thin, dressy outfits. Manager stuff. So I'm gonna go out there and get her kicking. So
You start my car?
nope, going out there right now.
Okay, I gotta go. Love you, bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Well, there went that. I guess I will not be going out to start her car. I just realized what time it was. It's my own fault. Tomorrow though is going to be fun walking to work. I'm going to be loving that because not only do I not have non-slick shoes that I can wear to work, but I'm gonna look like Ralphie's little brother on A Christmas Story, trying to walk to work because at 25 degrees, which is around what it's supposed to be tomorrow morning, and 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, we are talking minus 25, minus 30 degrees wind chill. So that's going to be good. Usually, big snow is followed by bitter cold. Me freezing my ass off in an open tractor clearing snow off the lot. Is that house done? You don't get in trouble with the wife. Take note. Yeah, exactly. That's normally how it's done, unless you kind of go and lose track of time, and she has to go out and start the car, or sit in a cold car because it's time for her to leave, and she don't have time to wait for the car to warm up. So yeah, maybe wind will be at your back. I don't know. No clue. The wind patterns right now is showing the storm coming up from the southwest, but wind moving down from the northwest. So it's actually going to be at this side for most of the walk, for half the walk, and in my face for the other half the walk. But you guys know me. I got all kinds of nice wool Scottish scarves and things like that around here that I can wrap, this pretty punum up in so it don't get frostbite. Yep. But yeah, that's how you're supposed to stay out of trouble with the wife, is, you know, the little things. But when you're, um, dude, I wish I had a snowmobile. I wish I had a snowmobile. I would probably sell, um, I would probably sell a testy or two, for a snowmobile. Make my 15-minute walk a 3-minute drive, and um, yeah, not freeze to death in the process. Yeah, keep getting hot. Keep getting hot. I need hot right now. And besides that, quite honestly, I've got bigger things going right now than a snowmobile. My kitchen manager, Ahmed, um, great guy. Him and I consider him amongst, um, you know, my closer friends here, uh, because of all the changes going on up at the bar. We were actually talking for a short time yesterday. There is a business for sale behind the bar. Well, it's behind the bar and slightly north. Um, but it used to be a restaurant back in the day. So they've got all of my electrical needs and stuff like that. I have found the tabletop flat deck pizza ovens. They are made here in America, and two of them equals one level of our large pizza oven. And we are considering going into business together if I can come up with my half of the money, um, and opening our own pizza place here in town. We would be the only pizza place here in town, plus the only restaurant that delivers. And everybody loves my pizza. So I actually have to check in the price of the building and property insurance and stuff like that. But these pizza ovens are less than $500 a piece, and I figured four pizza ovens, and we could. Good morning, Dev. Good to see you, bud. We could actually we could own the pizza business here in town because, um, Ahmed and I are the only ones that put the love into the pizzas and make them for the customers just like we make them for our families. And the customers love it. Everybody else just throws them together, and yeah, I mean, if we could purchase that building and stuff like that, uh, yeah, looking for investors for that one though, because I'm going to guarantee they probably want 50 grand for the building, plus, you know, the startup capital for supplies and materials and stuff, and the pizza ovens, um, utilities, things like that. So yeah, and we're going to split it right down the center. So that way we'll be equal partners. I've hunted in the bitter cold a few times. Wildlife will stay sheltered for the most part unless starvation is close. Yeah, and I've noticed that a lot, you know, living outside of the cities my whole life. Um, deer, deer especially, rabbits, um, raccoons even. We haven't had our raccoons out here on the back deck, even when we have cat food out on the back deck for, you know, the little homelesses. Um, but you don't see, um, very much wildlife movement in the bitter cold like that. They stay sheltered down as much as they can. But that's what I've got rolling. Um, I should say that's what I've got in mind right now for 2024 is trying to find a way to get our own pizza business started. And like I said, with our recipes, our custom pizzas, our Philly steak and cheese, our chicken parm, our barbecue chicken, um, our Southwest pizza, um, things like that. Not to mention the normal pizzas, the Supremes, the Super Supremes, the sausage, pepperoni, the chicken pizzas, things like that. Um, we got it. There's something magical listening to dogs tracking raccoons on a cloudless full moon night at 0 Fahrenheit. I think I have to agree with you on that, Tony. I really honestly do. Growing up in the country, we used to have a lot of hunters because we had woods on 3 of the 4 sides of us, um, out in the fields a ways. But that the distance from the house just added to the echo. And when you've got that semi-frozen, misty fog, um, and the full moon is showing barely through the haze, and you're hearing that. You're hearing those old hounds and the coon dogs going at it out in the woods. There is something very eerie, but at the same time, very magical because you can just barely see the outline of the woods, and you're getting that times 8 echoing across the fields. So yeah, I can agree with that. But it was the same way with coyotes. You had a pack of 10 or 20 coyotes out running through a field, chasing something that high pitched, and it just echoing across the field out of the darkness was very very eerie, but at the same time very magical. Well, at 0, the ground is frozen and the sound carries much more than on soft ground. Makes sense. I just I just mad 500 off pack of. I'm going to guess that's coyotes. I'm going to guess what you said is I just made 500 off a pack of coyotes. Congratulations. And if the bawling of a blue tick coonhound don't give you chills up the spine, then you might need medical attention. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but the old man over across the street that was friends with Steph's grandma and grandpa, old Booney, um, he had a blue tick a couple of summers ago, a couple of years ago, because he had a dog during the wintertime too. And most lovable damn dog you ever met in your life. All he wanted to do was play and have fun and stuff. But every time somebody would walk out the back door or walk up to the back door, I don't care, day or night, that's all you would hear. Go over there, and all that dog wanted to do was be loved. You walk up to him, he'd lay right down, old tail just a going at it. Big old floppy ears flopping all over the damn place. He'd roll over on his back like, love me, love me. The black and tan over too. No, you're right. Barking at the house is not the same. But, you know, in the neighborhood, in the dead of night, there's no other sounds going on. All of a sudden you hear that dog going. It was very, very reminiscent of my early childhood. It wasn't the same, but it was very reminiscent of it. Yep, can't type. And no, that was a cold frickin' night. The guy actually tans them, so getting a new hide I never worked with before. Coyote is really, really good to work with if you're going to make a bow quiver, or I should say a arrow quiver and a bow case. If you're going to fur line, now see, me personally, I've always wanted one of the really nice buckskinner coats that has the coyote fur or wolf fur lining around it. It goes all the way down the front where it buttons up, and then around the sleeves. But at the price of coyote and wolf these days, I can't afford to go out and buy them to make a coat. Hell, I was pricing hides the other day on eBay, and I couldn't believe how cheap they were selling hides. You're talking, you know, $10, $20 for tanned hides. But then you go into animal hides, animal furs, fur on, and you're talking 100, 200, 300, $400. So, yeah. It is the nature of the coonhound. Hear what he's doing when hunting. Yeah, makes sense. I always thought that's what the barking and the constant noise and stuff was for, was them trying to communicate. That's why people spend so much time and money training their hounds to be able to, you know, pursue and track and tree and I mean, quite honestly, when you're a hunter, I don't think to a hunter there's a closer relationship than the relationship they have between themselves and their dogs. Weaver leather has a deer tan cowhide, 105 compared actual deer hide going for 205. Wow. And the cowhide is twice the size. That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal at all. I mean, if you can get deer tanned cowhide, um, that's good quality for garment, then yeah, most definitely, that's a heck of a deal. Had a few exceptional coon dogs. I remember we had one, and might be troubling to some of you, but where I grew up at, way out in the country, we used to have, like I said, had a lot of coon hunters and stuff, but we also had a lot of farmers that had livestock. And whenever they would see an unfamiliar dog around their livestock, going around the fencing or whatever like that, they 90% of the time they would shoot first and ask questions later. Um, but we had a dog wander in our yard one time that was a beautiful little coon dog, and somebody had shot him and clipped him right on the back of his neck. Not a bad shot. It barely passed, barely passed through the meat. But we checked him out, made sure that it was his only wound. The bullet had passed completely through. My dad, y'all wonder where I get my sense of morality and stuff like that. He ripped up one of his brand new T-shirts he had gotten for Christmas, and we put antibacterial cream in the wound, and wrapped the dog up wrapped the wound up in a T-shirt, in the scraps of my dad's T-shirt, and all of this after calling the name on the dog's collar, or the phone number on the dog's collar. And the guy showed up, and he was just completely, he thought for sure his dog was, um, he thought for sure his dog was a goner, and got out there, and the dog was running around our house. He was all playful and jumping around, and me and my sister were playing with him, and the dude was ecstatic. Um, but he had told us this was his first year hunting, and he had got separated from the pack. Apparently, he found something else to chase and ran away, and managed to make it that 3/4 of a mile to the farmer's place. But in the dog's defense, there were stories all over there with the farmers. That guy was um, he was a nutball anyway, and his wife had these prize-winning sheep and goats and stuff out there. And anytime he saw a dog, whether he knew where the dog lived or not, he would shoot at the dog. So yeah, God knows how many family pets are buried out behind that guy's old house. He's gone now. Hopefully he's burning in hell for all the pain and sadness and stuff that he caused families, but that's my own personal opinion. Two of those cowhides would make a good buckskin shirt. Yeah, most coon dogs won't bother livestock, and all farmers I know. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, this guy was just a nutball. Killing animals like that is a federal crime. Now, if you get caught, just like throwing kittens in a river. All right, yeah. Good morning, Chris. And yes, very good point. It is. It is. Pet cemetery investigation. There are none around here that I know of. I mean, besides a family's personal pets, maybe a cat or two, and maybe a few dogs. But as for a pet cemetery, I think, I don't know how you'd actually investigate that, but it'd be interesting to try. Then again, my luck, I'd walk out there, find a grave that's been dug back up or something like that, and be attacked by one of those damn big fat Russian greys with the white glowing eyes that have come out of the grave. My luck. people like that are one step away from a serial killer. I agree. I agree. Comes down to where the vets send the dead. Believe it or not, anymore, um, vets that have to put animals down, 9 times out of 10, the families have the animals cremated. You know, it's costly. It's much more costly than just taking them back home and building a box for them and digging a grave. But yeah, I've heard of people spending, you know, two, three, four, $500, six, seven, $800, having a nice urn made for their family pet and having them cremated, and that way they're always around with you. They're sitting right there next to grandma on the mantelpiece, and cats are the only critters out there that will kill for fun besides humans. And I've actually noticed that cats will kill for fun, but a lot of times, and um, I've watched these little homelesses outside um, kill a squirrel, and they're not as much trying to kill it as they play it to death. I've never seen one of them, attack a squirrel and bite it and tear it open and, all that kind of stuff. But they will sit there and they will play with it like they play with another cat. They'll grab it, they'll use their back claws or their back feet as kickers and slice the animal with their back claws and everything. And it's just, uh, it was weird to watch them play with this thing like it was another cat. And then when it stopped moving, they'd sit there and look at it like, come on, come on. I mean, I've even seen them tap it a few times, trying to get it to move again. And it's just laying there. And the one of the kittens actually laid down next to it for a while. Like, oh, are we tired of playing? Are we taking a nap now? Okay. And lay there for a while, and then when it don't move, they just get up and walk away. It's like, it's out of the mood to play. Okay, well, all right, I'll go find something else to play with. Knew a few who had pets mounted. Back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there was a huge movement with having your pets, yeah, stuffed, not necessarily mounted, but they would have them stuffed in a sitting position or a sleeping position or something like that, and they would just have them laying around the house somewhere. They would dust them with the dustbuster. You know, I don't know what you would do if you accidentally sucked off Fluffy's ear one day, or got the tail stuck in the dustbuster thing and pulled their tail off or something, but uh, pulled out one of their glass eyes or something like that. I I would be traumatized, but yeah. I had a family friend who her husband was buried with his dog. He died, and the very next day the dog died. Oh wow! Now I've heard of people being buried with their pets before, but that was a big thing in back in Egyptian times and in the Middle Ages. People would have their favorite hunting dogs killed when they died and buried with them or something like that, so they could continue the hunt in the afterlife. But that's wow. Animals don't realize how rough they're playing. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. And even Ralphie, he's notorious for that. he'll start wanting to play when you're playing with his belly and stuff like that. And he'll wrap his front arms around your hand and hold you there, and he'll start using his back legs as kickers and put scratches all up and down your arm. Ants, dolphins, elephants, orcas, pirate spider, and honey badgers all kill for fun. I have a dog. If a rabbit comes near her, she'll break its neck and bring it to the porch. Wow. Wow. It's kind of like that pet cat that'll kill a bird or something like that, and then present it to you like it's your birthday. Look what I brought you. I brought you a gift because I love you, because you're always giving to me and stuff. I can't be the gorilla at our zoo here. I had a movement in the 90s. Wow. It's all that spicy food, dude. It's all that spicy food. I'm guilty of it too. You know, jalapeno, spicy, or I should say spicy barbecue, jalapeno burgers, and things like that. Yeah. A constant reminder my favorite hound was dead. Yeah, I know. That's just having your pet laying around like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind having them in an urn somewhere on a mantelpiece, but having them laying there where you got to look at them sleeping every day and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. I had a movement a few minutes ago. Morning, dog. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, when you get to be our age, those movements are um, very important. Mm. We used to have a former barn cat that would bring us snakes. That was that's just cats bringing you food as you're their pride. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's really kind of funny, you know, because with all the strays we've had here in town and stuff like that that have wandered off or whatever, um, many times we've got home from a store or something like that, and the cat be sitting there with a bird or a piney squirrel or um, something laying there on the porch, and it's sitting there all big and proud with its tail moving back and forth, real gentle, like just looking at you like, look what I done. Look what I can do. She knew the kids were afraid of snakes, so when they saw one freaked out, the cat would go and kill it and bring it to the patio door. Well, that's one way to guarantee your kids don't go outside all day until, you know, you go out and move the snake. Wow. Bring it to the patio door because they knew the kids were afraid of it. No, we had a large yard. They've just relocated. Philly beef, peppers, onions, scrambled eggs, mock cheese, breakfast burritos. I started to say there for a while you were describing my Philly cheesesteak pizza that I do. you know, nice piece of Philly steak and onions, peppers, you know, a nice thick beef sauce for the sauce on the pizza. Lots of mozzarella cheese, and then a little bit of extra butter on top of the cheese, and my dehydrated granulated cheese mixture that I sprinkle on top of it. Oh, pretty tasty is the right word. Pretty tasty. One other nice thing, if we could actually get our pizza place opened, then that would give me a little bit, or that would give me just one more place to film at, which would get the second channel off the ground, advertising the different pizzas and stuff that we do, and the step by step process on how we hand make the dough and hand toss it and everything else. So there's always a silver cloud or a silver lining on every cloud. That does sound good though. Breakfast burritos. I just can't help but wonder what business is going to be like here for the next couple of days with that storm moving in today. Um, I cannot help but wonder exactly what business is going to be like if we're even going to really do any business. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But if you guys will give me a second, it's about that time that I make a run to yeah, you know, I must go to the loo. If you would please excuse me momentarily, play real nice amongst yourselves. I'll be back in just a moment. Hopefully. Oh, God, my belly hurts. I should have had a breakfast burrito this morning. And the snow has started. How about that? We already have fresh snow on the roads that was not there an hour ago. I would guess slow as well, Tony. People don't want to get out if they don't have to get out. I mean, we have our regulars that come in every every day for lunch or whatever that might only get an order of fried mushrooms, but they sit down and drink a couple beers or something like that, or you know. But even they stay at home. Yeah, right now we're not bitterly cold. I don't think our temperature's gone up yet. Um, get this thing to cycle back in. Um, 31 degrees right now. We are looking at a high of we're looking at a high of 33 today. Tomorrow a high of 30. Sunday a high of 6. Monday a high of 2. Tuesday a high of 4. Wednesday a high of 12. Thursday a high of 19. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun upcoming week. 38 here, supposed to be 44. And tomorrow's 17 and 5. It's Sunday's 5. Winter's here. It is rearing its ugly head and saying how to do. Hope things pick up. Done 3 auctions this year already, made about what I did last year. On the average of an auction, nobody is spending money. And you know, I don't know if you guys know this about me or not, but you know, uh, I've 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 always had that entrepreneurial mind, and that's why I and my kitchen manager are discussing opening our own pizza place here in town because people want somewhere where they can go and pick up a pizza or have a pizza delivered, but they don't necessarily want it to be bar food. And we have a gas station here in town that's done pizza for the last 20 years, but now it's under new ownership, and they've cheapened the quality but increased the prices. And you know, um, we can do pizzas through the company that we get our supplies at, be it GFS or Stance, and our pizzas can actually we can turn a great profit at 25% less than the other places here in town are selling pizza for, and we'll deliver. And you know, but I've always had an entrepreneurial mind. I've always been a fan of the TV show Shark Tank. And I was watching a brand new episode of Shark Tank the other day, and the lady that was presenting to the sharks to try to find someone to invest in her business, they said that they said it was a great product, and she had a good record so far with sales, but with people being afraid of the impending recession and not knowing how it's going to go, um, that people were afraid to go out and spend money because they we don't know what 2024 is going to bring. If there's going to be a recession, if it's going to go into a depression, what the deal is. So, I mean, who knows? I got asked the other day if I'd be the parts service manager for a new garage my friend wants to open. It's something to think about, Tony. I mean, I know that you enjoy retirement, but it's something to think about, and you're damn good at it. So might be an extra little income for you there. We have to do a 65% markup, or you won't be in business much longer. Well, see, when these new managers took over our place, um, when those new managers took over our place, they said they sat down with us and they're like, well, what do you spend on a pizza? And we had to go through the cost of what it costs to make a dough ball, how much sauce we use, how much meat we use, how much cheese we use, and they're like, okay, so we're spending $3 on materials and we're selling it for $15. And they're like, no, we need to mark the prices up $4 each. And it's like no one's going to pay $10 or $11 for a personal pizza. No one's going to pay, 25 or $30 for a large pizza that's only going to feed a family of four. It's just not going to happen. So needless to say, our sales are going down because the quality's still there. But when you figured in, okay, well, when you make a chicken quesadilla, if you want to have a steak quesadilla instead, you charge $1.25 for steak instead of chicken. But if you're putting that on a pizza, then they want to charge $2 or $3 for the same amount of steak to go on a pizza. It just makes no sense. Heard you talking, Temps Drew, about same up over here. Be glad you're not in Alberta, Canada. -40, wind chill -50 to -60 Celsius. It, like I said, winter's here. It's rearing its ugly head. It's coming for us. It's coming right at us. Hey, Squatch, good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Word to your mom and damn. Dude, I have too many time constraints. It isn't the first such offer I've had. Local Ford garage wants to hire me too, or 1 2 3 years ago. Yeah, you're actually right, dog. I mean, that's what large pizzas up here cost, about $30. Oh wow! Now see down here, you can get there are places in the larger towns and stuff that sell more quantity where you can pick up a large pizza for 22 $23, and feed your whole family. I'm one of the few old school mechanics that does modern electronic stuff too. Very cool. Yeah, $20 for a large supreme with a few extras. And that's like a large one topping pizza. We were selling it for what, 11.99, but we were only investing $2 worth of material. You're talking what, five, um, almost a 600% turnover between preparation and, well, you figure in labor to make that pizza. It's more like a 350% profit. And still 350% profit. It's 30 up here from Pizza Hut. You need to move down here, Dev. You need to move down here because it's actually cheaper here for that large supreme. You're looking at $24, $25, 24.99. That is Casey's Pizza, but they do a good pizza. Yeah, Casey's does a good pizza. Mom and pop shops are charging plus taxes, so 30 easy. Winter time is near. Snow is in the air. if someone asked me to be a cook at a restaurant, I'd consider that more than the mechanic shit. It's not near as hard. Blah, 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 blah. That's good. Damn, that's good. I wouldn't do it, but being a mechanic made me hate working. So you and my old man are exact opposites, Tony. Um, my dad, um, so many years of being a service manager, so many years of being a mechanic. When he first retired, he loved it when people would call him on the phone and say, "Hey, we know you're retired, but we need, or we need, or we need." And he'd look over at my mom and she'd shake her head and shrug her shoulders, and my dad would say, "Yeah, just bring it out this Saturday. I'll get it fixed for you." And he made damn good money doing it. I like to cook and wouldn't want to. As a mechanic, I was fortunate we didn't do just one type of thing. One day it is a car, a truck, then a tractor, then a fork truck, trailers. I do mechanic work all the time. Unless you want to pay, $100 an hour labor, then it's smart to know something about mechanics. Whether it's mechanics on your food truck, or it's mechanics on your vehicle that pulls the food truck, or mechanics on a lawnmower, on a riding mower. It's nice to know a little bit of something, or know somebody who knows something that doesn't work for a dealership, or a place that's going to charge an outrageous amount of labor. So, I mean, yeah. I put a rear end in a recliner 7 days a week. And see, that is a skill. That is a skill. Because what happens if the rear end goes out? Then you got to pay $700 or $800 for a new recliner. What happens if your rear end goes out? Well, um, yeah. I think I'm going to buy 2 rear ends for 1999 Suburban here in a week or two. You put it on a throne. We'll have a movement then. Well, then again, if you ask my wife about it, at my age, she thinks I need to get my rear end replaced. She said it's starting to sag and droop, and the shocks aren't as well anymore. So, yeah, time to check into the remedy for no acetol. Yes, I have 299 Suburbans with bad rear ends. It goes to shit. Tell her you're doing the lowrider thing. Yeah, we don't want to discuss those lowriders. Those things are starting to look like the bells at Notre Dame, as low as they're hanging. We don't want to. Yeah, no, we're not going there. Dong, 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 dong. All my friends love a low rider. All my friends love a low rider. See you later, dog. Take care of yourself, bud. Thanks for coming in, hanging out with us. It's always it's always a ball. Bundle up, Buttercup. Yeah, I don't know what Eastern Michigan's getting right now. Um, is that church bells I hear? Nah, it's just Drew coming. Yep, I get that joke every day. Every day. She told me the other day if I didn't find a way to secure him one of these days, I was going to be walking through the house and trip over him and hurt myself. I did fire up both burbs yesterday. Very cool. At least they fire up. Even the silver one that's been sitting for 2 years with 2 year old gasoline in it. Wow. Very cool. Nothing yet. 10 a.m. start. Yeah, that's when we're supposed to start is 10. But well, like I said, when I went to the potty place a bit ago, it's already started. So we'll see what happens. This storm's pretty intense. It's pretty big. I was looking at it earlier when it was still down around Indianapolis, Terre Haute, stuff like that, and it was coming right for us. So we might get snowed under. Who knows? Gas does not go bad near as fast. Preppers say no, not not sealed up like that in a vehicle. Um, Now, yeah, see, sealed container. But you know, that's one way a lot of people make mistakes when they winterize their mowers and stuff like that. They'll push them in the shed and leave them for the winter time, but they leave them uncovered. So any moisture inside that building gets down inside the carburetor and stuff like that. So yeah, now my old man, he changes the oil, he drains the gas before he stores them, and just keeps pulling it, trying to start it until all the gas is out of it, all the gas is out of the line, everything else. Stores it away, wraps the top of the engine up on his push mower and stuff, and then in the spring he does an oil change, changes the spark plugs, everything on it, pours fresh gas back in it. I've seen that old man keep a mower for 10 years. Hell, nowadays you can't go out and buy a mower and keep it for 2 years without having some kind of work done on it. Little snow this afternoon here. Most will be on Saturday. That's when our heavy snow is supposed to hit. That's when the polar temperatures set in. That's when the 50 mile an hour wind gusts start and the heavy snowfall comes. But by 7 o'clock tomorrow night, the storm is supposed to end, and then the lake effect snow begins. So, like I said, we've got several days coming here starting tomorrow where the temperatures are going to be in the single digits. So, my mowers have no issues with them sitting outside. The only thing that gives me issues, chainsaws and weed eaters. I don't have a chainsaw, and our weed eater's electric. So I do drain my saws, weed eaters, and generators. They say it's smart. I don't know. Don't see lake effect snow unless it comes from south, as I am North Shore, Lake Ontario. Yep. Yeah, we are trying to think. If you look at Lake Michigan, where it comes down and it goes back up, the bottom of Lake Michigan's sitting here, and we're like right here. We're only 40 miles away from the southwest edge, or southeast edge of Lake Michigan. So, yeah, we get all that wonderful stuff. And like I said, the storm is actually coming up from the southwest, and the wind is coming down from the northwest. So, and then it's rotating back around again. So that's when dogs are going to get it over in southeastern Michigan. Yeah, I'm in between two lakes. Even though, like I said, I'm 40 miles away from Lake Michigan, but I'm clear across the state from the other lakes. Plus, I'm on a peninsula, guys. I mean, we have the Great Lakes. That's why I affectionately say I live in the crotch of the Great Lakes. Um, we got lakes all around us. So, oh yeah, 40 miles is well within the reach of lake effect. He's like in an upside down horse area. Yeah. Well, not really the armpit. The armpit would be the upper peninsula where Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and, Huron all start to grip in there at. If you lived up in there, that'd be the armpit. We're down by the wrist. I saw them reporting lake effect snow for Indianapolis. Oh, we've got it. Where I where I spent my early teenage years, we were actually about 50 miles northeast of Indianapolis. And we used to get lake effect snow all the time. Also because, like I said, we were out in the country, there was open fields, woods were, you know, half a mile, three quarters of a mile away out in the fields. So you had open fields and nothing to stop the snow. So I mean, there was times we saw 6, 7, 8 foot drifts in our yard. Um, so yeah, I mean, lake effect snow is it's fun. For those of you that have never experienced lake effect snow, lake effect snow can be fun, especially when you're a kid. Unless your mom and dad make you shovel all the walkways and stuff, then it's not so fun anymore. But I remember being 12, 13, 14 years old and going out and being able to dig tunnels through the snow that you could crawl through on your hands and knees and still have 3 or 4 feet of snow above you. So, yeah. And I'm still the same way. I actually prefer wintertime over summertime. Um, but if I had my ideal environment, it would be somewhere between um, 65 and 70 degrees year round. I just had a video of the winter of 78 yesterday. Oh, what memories that is. I see them all the time. I have them pop up on my suggested videos all the time. I love looking back at that, remembering, when I was 10 years old and, we had drifts 25, 28 feet tall going from the tops of the peaks on people's houses and going down. I've told you guys the story of 78 where I grew up at when we opened the front door and it was white and my mom was trying to push the screen door open and thought it was frozen shut. It wasn't frozen shut. It was at the base of a drift going from the peak on our single level house and going clear across our yard, out across the street, and ending at the neighbor's porch across the street. You go out, you open the overhead garage door, and it's a white wall. But, I remember my dad and I at, 10 years old taking snow shovels out and digging a hole from the overhead garage door to the front walk, which was only about 3 or 4 feet, and then digging a tunnel all the way to the front door just to have something to do. We couldn't dig out the cars that were sitting outside. My mom's car was buried, my dad's 4x4 was buried. There was, even if we dug them out, there was still 20 some odd feet of snow, 30 feet of snow behind them. So, I mean, there was no way to dig them out. We were fairly lucky here in town. The drifting wasn't insurmountable. Out of town, however, yeah, I walked to school in that blizzard. We didn't have school here for like, yep, it's behind the heart. 10 days. We were out of school for 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. We were out of school for that. And this storm here is expected to be so bad that um, they already canceled school. They canceled school an hour and a half before school was even supposed to start today. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it brings. Hey Ken, good to see you, man. It's minus 58 Fahrenheit here. I'm not shoveling anything to take. Wow. Yeah, so I can cross that. Oh, very well put, Tony. Where the are you at? So I can cross that off my map. Yeah, Red Deer, Alberta. I'd still like to come to Alberta. We got friends up there. Santa's up there in Alberta. That's on here on a regular basis. I'd love to go up there and visit him. I'd love to go back to Canada. I miss Canada. I miss Chatham, Ontario. I miss. Wow, we we lost the internet. The wind must be picking up out there. We lost the internet there for a minute. Told you not to be in Alberta. Freeze your nuts off area. Especially when you're my age. We were talking about this a few minutes ago. when you're my age, and they're already dragging in the snow. When the temperature goes down too, yeah, it's pretty much a gimme that yeah, you're gonna freeze them off. We getting Doe out of office. Then you can come visit us again. There is some truth to that. Oh man, poor old Trudeau. Nobody likes that dude. Then again, I think the best part of Mr. Trudeau ran down his mom's leg. So yeah, maybe if we can block those 500,000 voters. Schools are closed, but the daycare my girlfriend works in is open. Have to drive her to work. Cheers. Ken, you take care of yourself, man. Be careful out there. You be careful and stay warm. And we'll definitely catch you later, bud. Thanks for stopping in. Evidently, some like him. He's still in office. Only the people whose pockets he lines. Because I mean, granted, not going to Canada anymore. I haven't been to Canada in 20 years. Not going to Canada anymore, hanging out there. Um, I don't know a lot about the guy. I'll be honest about it. All I know is what I see on the news, what I see from Canadian streamers and stuff like that. So I really don't know a lot about the guy. I can't honestly say anything negative about him. I can, but it's just what I hear. But, what do you do? Just hope and pray that if he's bad for the Canadian people, then they oust him. So he's far too liberal. He'd rather help other countries than his own. Yeah, see. Yeah, I'm all about helping the people closest to me. If I was in a place of power like that, I wouldn't be sending millions of dollars to other countries until my own people were stable and strong and healthy, well fed. Then we may sit down and we may consider helping some other people out. But your own people, your own country, your own region, your own state, whatever, should always come first. Well, guys, we got about 3 minutes left, and then I have got to be like a fat baby and head out. I've got to leave here um, by about 10 till. It is 18 till right now. Most here, close to Toronto, are losing their homes because it costs. And there's nothing. But if country cries they need help for a war, other crap, he gives billions away. I'm forced to use pronouns. Tells me all I need to know about Canadian government. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, I don't know a lot about him. So I can't seriously sit here and pass judgment on him um, on everything he does. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of the stuff that I do see or I do hear about, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. But you know, the hearsay stuff until I actually have a chance to look into it, then I can pass a legitimate judgment on the dude. And yeah, then I can decide whether I like him or not. His government bends the knee for others, but not the ones who build it up. Yeah, yeah. Now, see, that is one thing right there I do not agree with. They're way too anti gun as well. Yeah, and we don't go for the anti gun thing. We do like our rights. And it's like I've said before in our streams. When you're living in a country where hunting and trapping and uh, were those two main things were the foundation of the country was built on the trapping industry. It was built on hunting. It was built on um, the fur trade and stuff like that. How do you make a key instrument to that illegal? Yeah, the anti-gun crap punishes people who are law-abiding and not the ones who. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We're more pro-blade up here. Immigrant laws. Yep. But all right, guys, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. It is time for me to be like a tree and leave. It is time for me to be like a snowflake and blow the hell out of here. So, no, it's never time for me to be like a snowflake. It is time for me to be like a winter storm and blow. So, you guys all take care. Have yourselves a great day. Have a great weekend. I'm going to attempt to start doing our Friday night interviews again next week. We'll see what I can do about finding a guest to come on and speak. Um, but be checking for us again on Monday morning, 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll do coffee and chat again. But that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll catch y'all later. Have a good day.